Not saying. Yes, yes, got it. Yes, it's saying that.
Wonderful.
Good.
So we can start.
Okay, all right. Good afternoon, Colette.
Good afternoon.
And how are you this afternoon?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. This afternoon, I summon you here to this office because I was tasked with an assignment by the CEO. And the assignment is for me to formulate a training and development program for the organization.
Mhm.
However, before we go further, let me establish the protocols. Um, the session this afternoon, it's going to be recorded so that we can have that recorded share with the CEO. Secondly, we are going to work as a team. In spite of I'm going to be your coach throughout the entire program. Whatever you discuss, it will remain between the two of us, strictly confidential between the two of us. But if there is anything that you mention on this recording that you do not want to share with CEO, we can edit the recording. But if you are okay with everything, we can proceed. So do you have any objections?
No objections. Thank you for putting the protocols in place and putting a safety measure there for this discussion.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so let me give you the background. The purpose of doing this training and development program is that the organization is embarking on more projects for this year. We are into housing, and we are entering into roads, bridges, building houses, opening up new schemes, and so forth. So the organization is expanding, and as it is expanding, the CEO now, in order to know what skills we have, what we need to strengthen, what we need to improve on, he wants to do a training and development program because we have never had that before within the organization. And as you know, as a training manager, that training is a very essential aspect in the success of our organization. It brings great investment on our great reward for our RIO, as you would know, right? So it's critical for our projects to be able to be successful in us achieving our objectives. So in order to achieve our objectives, we got to ensure that we motivate these staff too, right? So training also works as a motivational factor. So with saying all of that, now that we establish the objectives of this training program, now we can move on. My reason for choosing you as the person to work on this program is because I know that you have the necessary skills, expertise, and the knowledge that can also assist in guiding this program on the right path. So with that, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. You just need to relax. It's not a interrogation. Interrogation. It's just, we're having a discussion to see how best we can pull this program together because I was also given a deadline, right? So let's see. So have you ever worked on a training and development program before?
Yes, in my previous role, I did work on training and development plans.
Okay, so could you share your experience in preparing a training and development plan?
So usually before preparing a training and development plan, there needs to be a needs assessment or needs analysis. Usually within the corporations as large as yours, The needs assessment derives from the performance appraisal process, which brings me to the question, what is the performance appraisal process like within your organization?
Well, the tool is there, but it is not very effective. So that wouldn't be a very good tool to use to measure.
Okay,
So, mhm.
well, in the absence of a performance appraisal process, I would advise that we conduct additional assessment. One such assessment would be an employee training survey, whereby we inquire from employees what training opportunities they think will benefit them in their role. In addition to that, we can do a SWOT analysis with the managers to understand what are the gaps in the business. Putting the two together, we will be able to better understand what the business needs are and what employee needs are, and know what the critical points are in order for us to go forward in developing the training plan as needed by the CEO.
Okay. All right. But I was thinking before we even go ahead to develop the plan, we must decide on which one of the models that we are going to use, because you know that there are several models several training models that we can use, right? They have the system models, they have the transitional model, they have the instructional development model. So I don't know if you are aware of those models, and which one, or a combination, or if we should use a combination of all three to formulate our training program.
Yes, Penelope, I am aware of those models and I agree with your point. Using a combination of all three would be most effective for what it is you hope to achieve. Given the nature of your business, it spans over several regions in a geographical scope. So having this system model um, can result in you putting an e-learning system in place that touch every corner of the country in which you have employees working. So employees can collectively learn at their own pace while at the same time not losing out on training that their colleagues in a more urban area would be exposed to. In the same light, the instructional model is critical for those roles such as supervisory management, leadership essentials, and customer service. In terms of that, using that model, you can outsource that to a corporate training facility for them to provide that service, and you not having to focus on getting that done within the business. And the last one, which is a transitional model, that is critical for your business. You have new employees coming in and you have employees transitioning from where they are to newer roles. You need to have a system in place to seamlessly transition them from point A to point B in order for them to be effective in their role and ultimately achieve the company's performance targets.
Thank you very much. You see why I chose you? Wonderful. So now, okay, so now we have idea of the models. So you said we are going to choose a combination of the three models. Okay, now we have that. Now we have a time frame of 3 months to submit the first I would say proposal to the CEO. So is the timings realistic? Can we pull this off in 3 months?
The timing can be realistic, but there are a few impeding factors that may affect the effective implementation within that timeline, cost being the main one. When we look at this system model, we are looking at the e-learning platform, which will have to be built out to cater to the needs of your organization. That can be a timely endeavor, which I would say will not be done in 3 months, but it can be a longer term goal that develops on top of the others. Um, Whatever the budget is for this project has to be taken into consideration in relation to all that we want to do. Because engaging corporate training facilities is a costly endeavor as well, and that we have to be ready for. So, what is your budget?
Well, the CEO, he disclosed to me, seeing that this is of utmost importance to the organization at this point of its phase, he say he's not focusing on costs, but just allow us to prepare the proposal, submit it to him, and then he is going to make his judgment.
Wonderful. Well, then in that case, I can start working on the survey and SWOT analysis questions to be able to identify where the gaps are. That will take me about 2 weeks. And from the findings there, I will be able to develop what systems we will need to put in place for the different categories of employees. So the 3 months would be sufficient for me to submit that as well as implement the first leg of that for the CEO.
Okay, nice, beautiful, beautiful. At least we are on to a very good start. I will be um I will be available to you at any time. I have a very open door policy. Anytime you need any clarification, any advice, you could always come to me, and I will be able to explain to you and guide you accordingly. Any additional information, if you're not getting through with the survey, just let me know. If you're getting difficulties with the managers cooperating with you, just let me know. I will intervene and we can work on that. So together we can achieve much.
Definitely.
Right? So is there any other thing that um we miss or we need to discuss at this point?
No, at this point in time, I would just like to tell you thank you for the confidence you show in me and being able to get this done for your organization. I look forward to the opportunity.
Okay, so within 2 weeks, I'm looking forward for the survey to be completed.
Yes, I will get that to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. So feedback. You did it. Yay, yay, yay. With 2 minutes to spare. So time definitely was good.
Yeah.
There was some parts that sometimes the question came over that instead of you coaching, I was the one coaching. So that was minor, but you know, just an observation.
Okay, all right. So two observation. Oh, all right.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So you ready now?
Yes, I'm ready. So good evening, Penelope. How are you this evening?
Good afternoon, Colette. I am doing great this afternoon.
All right. So thank you very much for meeting with me at such short notice. I have been reviewing a few of the performance appraisal and remarks made by employees in relation to their comfort level here within the organization. I did read through a few of your comments, and I thought that it's best for me to engage you to understand what your grievances were and how best the company can help your stay here be more welcoming and conducive for growth. So tell me, what has been aching you within the organization recently?
Oh, well, recently, I have seen a lot of changes taking place. The culture of the organization has changed over the years because I've been here 10 years now, and I have seen a lot change. Well, with technology, bearing with technology, globalization, post-COVID, there is so much we now have to adjust to, and it is posing some amount of challenge for us.
Okay, thank you. So when you say it's posing some amount of challenge as it relates to the organizational culture, do you care to elaborate on some of the challenges that were presented?
Well, one of the challenge that was presented to us is that after COVID now, it's difficult to get people to come back into the working environment, the working space. They some people prefer to work remotely, but knowing in our culture, in our Guyanese culture, we are not so advanced or equipped to have people working remotely. So now we are faced with a challenge now with people, want to work. They would prefer to work remotely than come to the office every day. So
Okay,
that is one of the challenges that HR is faced with.
so I can understand that. So tell me a little bit about the model that you have in place for work. I am asking this because I'm trying to understand how the company functioned during the pandemic.
Well, during the pandemic, we did not actually close down. We only closed down for 1 month. We were at home, and then we were forced to return back to work. So actually, throughout the pandemic, we were working, but a few persons had the opportunity to work off-site. So those persons now become so comfortable working remotely that they don't want to come back in. So that is the challenge now we're having.
Well, you see, the thing about it, COVID taught us that many things are possible, and remote work being one of them. And I was looking at the statistics last year for the resignation, which we refer to as the Great Resignation, because many persons were resigning or opting to work remotely. Now, as an organization, cultures change. The pandemic changed the way we work. When you look at the baby boomers, they got up at 6, they were in the office at 7, and they work throughout. They had loyalty to company. But after this pandemic that recently occurred, it changed the way we live, it changed the way we work. So I can understand the employees reaching out to you requesting to work remotely. Have you considered having a policy be put in place to have promote remote work for employees that can do it?
Well, yes, I did consider it. Even had a discussion with CEO, but because we're a government organization, that has to be a government policy throughout all the public organizations. So we are not allowed single-handedly to make a policy as such.
Okay, I can understand that. But tell me, in what ways you think as an individual you can contribute to changing the culture to adapt to what is present?
Well, I try um I try counseling them and getting them to understand that this is above our heads. This is more at the government level, and the government has to make the decision whether public companies can have remote working, and only then we can introduce such policy within the organization. And well, I just try to coach them. I just try to um, counsel them every day, and encourage them and try to do little motivational things and encourage their supervisors, their managers, to try and see how best that they could motivate them to work. We try to make the environment a bit more conducive for them, you know, by ensuring that they have all the necessary things that they need in order to make them comfortable within the organization. We even try, hosting all the events where we would have these whether it's Hindu, Christian, or whatever, we celebrate all the various cultures. We would have cultural presentations, dressed in the clothing, have the foods and so forth. So we are trying different motivational strategy to see if we could get them back into the working environment mode and take them out from the home mode. So that is what we are trying to do.
Okay, I like that you would have put these systems in place to make them feel welcome back at work, whereby they would erase the thought. But tell me something, what has your attrition rate been like coming back from the pandemic?
Pardon me? What they want?
What has the attrition rate been like? How many employees would you have lost since you returned from the pandemic?
Oh, um, let me see. We lost about 25 employees.
So how does that affect the operation?
Well, we had to go back through the whole process of recruiting, and recruiting and retraining and upskilling and reskilling. So it had a real great impact on the organization.
I would take it that these 25 employees that would have resigned were tenured employees that had institutional knowledge that was critical to the business.
Yep, yep. Most of them are very technical people.
Now, I understand with technical folks, it's more difficult to provide, rotational systems or work from home. But can you think of any way that you could have done something differently that could have retained those persons outside of the governmental policies?
Well, the only thing I could have done in my capacity is try and talk to them, try and encourage them. As I tell you, we try and we do little motivational things, in our capacity, what we can do. But there was nothing else I can do because um what happened too, you got to look at competition too in the market, right? And what the market is offering, because now we have the oil and gas sector, and most of the staff now run into the oil and gas sector because apparently the oil and gas sector has a better package. They would be able to work remotely. So they are, yeah. So the competition is
And the only way you can keep up with the competition is to be able to match what the competition is doing. And, a little bit of advice, I think one way that you could have helped that process is maybe having a petition created and aligning with other colleagues within other ministries to kind of persuade the government to implement a remote work system for public servants so that they can be retained within the ministries and not leave to go to the private sector where they're getting the remote work that they want that you're refusing to give them.
Okay. Yeah. Very good advice. I will think about that.
So
Thank you.
that
Thank
can definitely work. So now, going back a bit, before this session started, I was supposed to share with you some housekeeping rules, which I totally forgot to do. So even though we're at the comment closing off what we are discussing here, I want to present it with you. Whatever it is that we would have discussed in the last few minutes is confidential. I understand your frustration, shortage of staff, not having the skilled personnel that you need be present to ensure the completion of tasks given the nature of the country's people. But whatever you say here is confidential. There are some nuggets from it that I would like to share with the CEO and with other personnel within the public service ministry to discuss the issues that employees within these ministries are having. However, while this is confidential, I need your permission for me to have these discussions outside of this space. Of course, I will not call your name, but I still need your permission to share your suggestions with them.
Okay, I have no objection.
Okay, thank you very much. So to reiterate what we would have discussed, your grievance is that the culture of the organization is no longer what it has been. Being there for 10 years, you would have found that persons were more open and willing to come to work and they were more productive at work. Given the impacts of the pandemic, persons have since been more comfortable working from home than being in the office, a feat that the organization cannot afford at this time. That would have resulted in you losing 25 critical resources to other companies that are offering more attractive packages, as well as the work from home reality that your hands are tied, you're unable to offer, right? So, um, suggestions that were made in this regard is to petition the government in collaboration with other ministries to have consideration be given to remote work for public servants, as well as, you know, engage in the public service ministry in relation to grievances that many public servants have that are not being addressed.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Right?
you.
So
Very good advice.
I will definitely look into that for you and get back to you. I remain available to you to if you ever want to bring up any other topics or discuss the progress that is being made in relation to this. I am available. You can reach out to me and we can discuss. But I would definitely like to understand how progress is being made and how the attrition rate is fluctuating based on potential changes to come.
Okay, thank you.
Right, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much for taking the time to meet with me, Penelope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right,
Right, right,
spot
right.
on time, 50 minutes.
Yeah, we did good. We did. Woo, yes,
Up
we did well. We did well. Yeah.
observations.
The only thing is that well, you were able to come back in and correct it is that you didn't establish the protocol for us, right? That's the only thing. But otherwise to that, yeah, the presentation was good. Nothing else that I can you know say about it.
All right, so we have about 8 minutes remaining, so we are spot on time. I'm
But
gonna end it now. I'm gonna pull the recording. I'm gonna send you the link and
Yeah.
I'm going to work on putting it up on YouTube on unpublished and have send it to Sir. But I will send
Okay.
it to you so that you can also share it with him.
Okay, good, 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 good,
All
good.
right,
Thank you,
Penelope.
Colin. Thank you, Colin. But I should have put my right name on this thing. There's some confusion.
No, I'm gonna put the names alongside it so that we don't have that confusion.
This T here where they got this, how they got me login here. Penelope.